Hello guys, welcome to another video in the series of coding. Today we are going to solve the problem which is called meeting rooms. We are given a 2D integer array of size n cross 2 denoting time intervals of different meetings, where first one is the start time, second one is the end time. Find the minimum number of conferences rooms required so that all the meetings can be done. Okay, let's try to take an example to understand. This is the simplest example. Now, we have to find how many meeting rooms do we need to accommodate all the meetings. Okay, let's start. Suppose we are given this is the first meeting, right? So we want to definitely accommodate this meeting. So you need at least one room. It will start at 0, it will end at 30. Okay, you need at least one room. Now let's go to the next meeting. Okay, this meeting can be accommodated by taking one room. Now let's go to the next meeting. It is starting at 5, it is ending at 10. Okay, so it is starting at 5 and it is ending at 10. So can you do it in one room? You cannot, because in this case if you try to accommodate it in one room, how is it possible? Because the blue color meeting will keep going on, right? In the same room you cannot conduct the same meeting because it is overlapping, right? This meeting has to start at 5 and the first meeting is ending at 30. So before the first meeting is ending, the second meeting is starting. So we cannot accommodate both the meetings in the same room, right? People from both the meetings will clash and they'll be like, where do I sit, there's not enough space, right? So you cannot accommodate both the meetings in one room, so you definitely need two rooms. Okay, so whenever there is a overlap, you need a second room also, so you need a second room. Okay, now you need at least two rooms, right? Now let's see the last meeting is 15 comma 20. So now what is happening is you have 15 and you have 20, right? So in this particular case, when the first when this meeting, right, green color meeting is over, you can accommodate the next meeting, right, in the same room. Okay, let's say you accommodate the second meeting in room number 2. So when the meeting 5:10 is over, right, which is starting at 5 ending at 10, if that meeting is over, you can put this meeting 15:20, right? So two rooms are enough, right? Because 5:10 is over, right? 5:10 was over. 5:10 was over. Then you started the next meeting 15:20. So it's okay. You can do the same way, and the first meeting can keep on going as it is, right? So in two rooms you can accommodate all the meetings. Okay, so this is one example. Now let's see another example, right? When we have this example, what are you going to do in this case? Okay, first of all, now this looks very messy. When we see this question, we don't know how to solve. So let's do one thing, let's sort it. Okay, let's sort it by when the meetings are starting. At least we will have an idea of when to start the meeting, right? We will have an idea of whether we need a room or not. So let's do one thing, let's quickly sort these to make the problem simpler. Okay, so let's sort it. There's a meeting 1 comma 18, there is another meeting 2 comma 11, right? So I'm just sorting and putting it, I'm sorting it by the start time, right? So 2 comma 11, and then let's say another meeting is starting at 4 and ending at 15, another meeting starting at 5 ending at 13. Okay, another meeting starting at 15 ending at 29, another meeting starting at 18 ending at 23. Okay, now I have them sorted. Okay, now it looks at least little bit better. Now I still have these meetings, right? 6 meetings. So maximum rooms that I can need is 6, but maybe if some room gets free, I can use it. Okay, so first let's note this. So anytime maximum room that I can need is equal to n, where n is the size of the input, right? For example, in this case, maximum rooms that we can need is 6. Okay, now minimum rooms that we can need is 1. Okay, always. Because let's say, when do you need only one room? When is this case? Let's say a meeting starts at 1, ends at 2, another meeting starts after this, let's say starts at 3, ends at 5, another meeting starts after this, maybe let's say 5 comma 8. These two are not overlapping, okay, because this meeting will end and then the next meeting will start. So something like this is also accepted, and then let's say 10 20, this is also accepted. So when you have such a case, right, no matter how many inputs you have, if they are sorted in such a way that another meeting is starting after the previous meeting has ended, in this case you will need only one room, right? In this case the answer will simply be 1. You will need only one room, because as soon as a meeting ends, in the same room you can accommodate the next meeting, right? Then in the same room, as soon as this ends, you can accommodate the next meeting. Then you can accommodate the next meeting. So one room is sufficient. But whenever there is an overlap, you will need to use two rooms. If there is another overlap, you will need to use three rooms and so on. This is the logic. So now let's try to use this logic, okay, to solve this question. So we know minimum, we know maximum, and now we have also sorted it by the start times, right? Now let's see what we can do after this. So in this case, let's start with the first meeting, right? First meeting is 1 comma 18. Okay, so we know that it is going to start at 1. This meeting is going to end at 18. Okay, so you know you need at least one room. Okay, now let's this meeting is sorted. You need at least one room, right? You have taken care of it. You need one room. There is no way that you can do this meeting in an empty space. You need one room. Okay, now let's go to the next meeting. Next meeting is starting at 2 and ending at 11. Now what is happening is, this meeting is going to end at 18, but your second meeting is going to start at 2. So since 2 is less than 18, what that means is, see, first meeting is not getting over and the second meeting is starting. That's a simple overlap. That's a overlap. Okay, so in this case there is a overlap. So your next meeting is going to start at 2 and it's going to end at 11. There is a clear overlap. Okay, clear overlap is there. So in this case you definitely need another room. Okay, one room is not sufficient. You need at least two rooms. Okay, so now we know that we need two rooms. Okay, so let's try to go further and try to build the logic. Now comes meeting number 3, starting at 4, ending at 15. Is there any way you can accommodate this meeting within any of the rooms? Okay, so now there are two options, right? Either you accommodate it in any of the rooms or you take a new room. Every time you just have two choices, right? Either you need to add a meeting room or you need to accommodate this meeting in the previous rooms. So now let's see for this meeting, is there any way to accommodate it in any of the rooms? Is there any way? If there is a way, then two rooms are sufficient. If there is not a way, then we need three rooms. Okay, let's see if there is a way. How can you find out? So see, this meeting is going to end at 11. This meeting is ending at 18. Okay, but when is this meeting starting? This meeting is starting at 4. So what does that tell us? It tells us that both the meetings are still ongoing, right? Both the meetings are still ongoing because these two meetings are going to end at 11 and 18 respectively, right? They're going to end at 11 and 18. Before that, your meeting number 4 will start. Your meeting will start at time 4. So before these two meetings end, your meeting will start. Your current meeting will start. So there is no way you can accommodate it, right? So you need another room. Okay, you need another room. So we need another room for this particular meeting. So let us take another room. So let me write 3 and you need another room. So it will start at 4 and this meeting is going to end at 15. Okay. Now we have taken care of this guy also by allotting it another room because we were not able to do anything for it. Okay. So let me go forward to the next room. Next meeting we have, which is starting at 5 and ending at 13. Okay. So in this case, let's see if we can accommodate it or we need new room, right? We have only two choices. Either accommodate it in any of the ongoing rooms or we need a new room. Let's see what is the answer in this particular case. Okay. So now, when are the meetings ending? This meeting is ending at 11. This meeting is ending at 15. This meeting is ending at 18. Okay. All of the meetings are going to end at a later time and this meeting has to start at time 5. It has to start at 5, right? There is no other option. We can't wait for these meetings to, let's say, end at 11 or 15 or 18. We can't wait till this much time because in this question it's assumed everybody is very punctual. We have to start at 5. Some people will arrive at the time 5 itself. In that case, what will you do? You can't send them away, right? You need to start the meeting as soon as people arrive. So in this case also you need another room, right? There is no way you can accommodate it. So you need 4 rooms now. So this meeting will start at 5. Okay, it will end at 13. Will start at 5, it will end at 13. You need 4 rooms because everything is overlapping. Okay, now let's go to the next possible meeting room. Now next room, we can see that it is next meeting is starting at 15 and ending at 29. Okay, now you see, when are the meetings ending? 11, 13, 15, 18. Okay, now our meeting is going to start at 15 only. Our meeting is going to start at 15. But you can see that there are two meetings that are going to end before that itself. See, the meeting 12 to 11. The meeting 12 to 11, right? This meeting is going to definitely end before itself. So this meeting will end at 11. Then we can start our meeting at 15. Very easy, right? Simple. This meeting will end at 11. And you can use the room which was occupied by this meeting, right? This meeting is going to start at 2 and end at 11. So this meeting is going to empty the room at 11 itself. At 11, at the time 11, this meeting will be finished. So that it will leave a room to be occupied. So now we can schedule our meeting there. So we need not take an extra room, right? So I will erase it here. We need not take an extra room. The meeting which was ending at 11, that meeting room will be free from 11 onwards. So at 15 time we will come and occupy that room, right? So we can come and occupy that room. So now maximum rooms that we need is 4, right? But we can occupy our meeting in this. We need not add one room and increase our answer to 5. We can accommodate our time, right? Because 15, it will start at 15. It will end at 29, right? So that can be accommodated. So it will start at 15, it will end at 29. Okay, so it can be accommodated. There is no problem at all. Now let's see the last meeting. Now last meeting is going to start at 18 and it's going to end at 23. Okay, so again in this problem, the room which is there here, right, which is starting at 5 and ending at 13, this room can be freed at 13, right? This room will be freed at 13. So after 13, this room is free. Okay. Let's say a meeting is going in that particular room. Okay. This is the room. Meeting is going on that. Meeting is starting at, let's say, 5. It will end at 13. After 13, this room is going to be free, right? So this room will be free. So there will be no one in that room. So you can use that same room to accommodate our meeting, which is going to start at 18 only, right? So you can use the same room to accommodate your meeting, which is going to start at 18 and end at 23. So you don't need an extra room, right? So you can do your work in 4 rooms. So answer will be 4 in this particular case. Okay, now let's quickly take another example to understand this. So first we are given these rooms. What are we going to do first? We are going to sort it, right? We are going to sort it by starting time, so that we know after which meeting we have to see which meeting, right? So let's sort it by starting time. So 1 comma 2, then you have 3 comma 5, then you have 6 comma 12, then you have 7 comma 10, and then you have 11 comma 15. Okay, so now you know you have these 5 meetings. Okay, now let's quickly start seeing and build the final logic before moving on to code. Okay, so in this particular case, we need at least one room for the meeting 1 to 2, right? So we need one room for the meeting 1 to 2. So your answer is at least one. You need one room. Okay, so now let me write. Okay, for first, let's say this is room number 1. Okay, this is room number 1. Let's say in room number 1 you put the meeting 1 comma 2. Okay, and it is started going on and you need one room. Okay, so we have taken care of this. Let's go to the next meeting. Next meeting is going to start at 3 and it's going to end at 5. So this room, right, this room will become free at 2, right? This room will become free at time 2. So you can use the same room. Okay, because your next meeting is going to start later only. Your next meeting is going to start at 3, but your room will be freed at 2. So you can use the same room. So let me erase it and let me use the same room itself. So we will use the same room to conduct the meeting 3 comma 5. Okay, so now this is also taken care of. So let me cross it. This is also taken care of. We need only one room as of now. Let's go to the next meeting. Next meeting will start at 6 and end at 12. Again, what you can do, you can use the same room, because this room will get freed at 5 and you need to start your meeting at 6 only. You need to start it later, right? Your room will be freed at time 5. So after 5, this room is anyway free. So you can use the same room. Okay, so you'll use the same room. You'll start at 6, we will end at 12. Okay, now let's go to the next room. Next meeting. So next meeting will start at 7 and end at 10. Okay, so in this case, you cannot use the same room because there's a meeting which is going on, right? That's a meeting that is going on. So the meeting that is going on will end at 12 only, but you need your room to get freed by as early as 7. Okay, you need to start your meeting at 7, but this meeting is still going on till 12. You cannot use the same room. So what we'll do, we will have to take another room. Okay, so I will have to book another room. Let's say room 2. Okay, I will have to book another room, and I will start my meeting at time 7 and I will end my meeting at time 10. Okay, now let's go to the next case. Now your next meeting is going to start at 11 and it's going to end at 15. Okay, now should you take a new room or can you accommodate in any of the rooms? Okay, now you see, if you try to accommodate this meeting in room 1, you cannot do it because this meeting will end at 12 and your meeting has to start at 11. Your meeting will start before itself, right? Your meeting will start at 11 and this meeting is still ongoing till 12. So you cannot accommodate it in room 1. Which room can you use then? Can you use room 2 or do you need a new room? You can use room 2, right? Because consider this case. First let me erase this. Now consider this case. The meeting that is going on in room 2, that will end at 10. Okay, so we can use this particular room. We can use the room number 2 because the meeting will end at time 10 and your meeting is going to start at 11 only, right? So you can use this room. This room will get freed after 10, right? So I will erase this here and I will place my meeting. Okay, I will place my meeting and I will use in the same room itself. Okay, so what does this tell us? This tells us that, okay, so first of all, what we are going to do, let's think the approach now. First of all, we are going to sort by start time of meeting. Okay, after we have sorted by start time of meeting, okay, now we need to take a structure. Okay, we need to take such a data structure where we can see the end times of meetings. Okay, we need only the end time of meeting. We don't need the entire thing. Okay, we need only end time of meetings and we need to check if end time of meeting that is ending first, right? That is ending first. Okay, like for example, in this example, okay, in this example, when we were at this particular case, okay, when we had the meeting 7:10 going on, we needed to accommodate our current meeting, right, which is 11:15. In this case we just compared 10 with 11. Okay, now the meeting that is ending first in this case is this meeting, right? So if this meeting is ending first and our meeting which we need to accommodate, if the current meeting is starting later, then we can use the same room, right? That is a simple logic. So if the end time of meeting that is ending first, okay, is having end time less than equal to our okay, is having our current meeting time, okay, our current meet time, then we don't need new room. Okay, then we don't need new room. That's it. That is the simple logic. I know it became a very big statement, but it's actually a very simple statement, right? It's very logical. We need only two steps in this question to solve. First step is very simple. Second step is also simple only. So we need to check the meeting that is ending first because that meeting which is ending first gives us the highest chance of being able to accommodate, right? If we have all meetings going on, whichever meeting is ending first, we will notice that meeting and that can give us a chance of being able to accommodate our current meeting because as soon as it gets over we can maybe accommodate our meeting, right? So that is a simple condition. So how can we use such a data structure? So you can use a priority queue data structure, right, to accommodate where you can arrange them, right, in the order of ending time of meetings, right? So that's it. That is the simple logic, and whichever meeting is ending first, we will compare that end time with our current meeting. Now let me try to code it and then it will be much more clearer. Okay, so in this particular case, the first thing that you need to do, first step, right, first step is as discussed, just sort by the starting time. Sort a dot begin, a dot end. Now we need a priority queue type structure to accommodate our meetings. So let's see. So let me declare a priority queue and int pq. Why only int? I'm not taking pair because only end time is sufficient. Only end time is sufficient. That's it. Okay. Now let me try to iterate over. Okay, for int I equal to 0, I less than a dot size, I plus plus. Okay, so now in this particular case, okay, now if priority queue is empty, when we are seeing the first case, you need at least one room, right? You need one room. So in this case, just simply push it in the priority queue. Just push the end time in the priority queue. Okay, so how will you push the end time? So your a is a vector of vector, so a of I will give you, okay, it will give you a vector where the first value will be the start time and the second value will be the end time. Okay, it will be something like, okay, it will be something like this: start time comma end time. Okay, so this will be a vector. So we need the end time, so we need to take care of a of I of 1, right? You need to see the end time. Okay, so we'll just push the end time if it is empty. Okay, now else if it is not empty, right, then what is the condition that we have? So we need to make our priority queue such that it acts as min heap. Okay, because we need to store the meeting that is ending first, right? We need to see, because that meeting can help us. Other meetings may help us or may not help us, but if the meeting that is ending first, that has the most chance of helping us, right? Because it will get over soon and then we can come and conduct our meeting which we want to conduct, right? We can conduct the next meeting. So for doing that, let me see, priority queue is max heap by default. So to convert to min heap, you will have to give greater int to reverse the sign, and then it will act as a min heap. Okay, now it will act as a min heap where topmost element will be having least value. Okay, so now it will act as a min heap. So we can use this. So now whenever we push any element in priority queue, it will get sorted in ascending order, right? So the element, so the meeting that is ending first will be on the top. Okay, so now we will have to compare it with the top element. Okay, so if pq dot top, this will give us the ending time, right? If the ending time of that meeting, okay, if the ending time of that meeting is less than, okay, equal to our start time, for example the meeting is ending at time 5 and our next meeting is starting at 8, then we can use the same room, right? So if our meeting that is starting a of I 0, okay, so this is the start time of our current meeting, this is the end time of the previous meeting. Okay, so then we can use the same room. So how can you use the same room? You will just pop the first element, you can pop the meeting that was currently going on and you can push your own meeting. Okay, you can use the same room, means your that meeting got over and now you are putting your own room. Okay, so that's it. So this is fine. Okay, now if this is not the case, right, that means you cannot use the same room, so you need to accommodate a new room. So when you need to accommodate a new room, you can give the same condition. You cannot pop out anything because that meeting is still going on. You cannot remove that meeting, right? You cannot use the same room, you need a new room. So I will push my current ending time. That's it. And now finally what we can do, we can return pq dot size. How many other rooms you need, that will simply be given by the size of your element. Okay, so now let us do one thing, let us test and see if it is working. Okay, it's working, and now let me just submit and see if it's working for all the test cases. So it's working. That's it. Thank you for being patient and listening.